Hi, my name is Michael Sahno. I'm Jewish and I love Israel. So if you love Israel, if you love being Jewish, or if you have an unwavering connection to the land of Israel, then you're in the right place. Welcome to the 12 Cities in Israel podcast. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? My name is Michael Sahno, and welcome to the 12 Cities in Israel podcast, the only positive podcast about the state of Israel. Hey, if this is your first time watching, don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell so you get all of the brand new episodes as they come out. And if you want to download this and take this with you, you can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and on Spotify. Okay, guys, hey, I'm back. Back from an amazing fast. Wow, holy junk! It actually. I was talking to my rabbi, and I said it was wonderful. It was introspective. It was over before I knew it. I set alarms before. So that I know when to start and I know when it ends. And I don't know what the ruling on that is. But anyways, it went off and I was like, wow, it's over. I can't believe it. So yeah, I hope you guys had an easy fast. I spoke to a friend of mine and she's one of my resources on this episode, and this is going to be, or has the potential to be, a pretty contentious episode. So what this episode is about proselytizing in Israel. The proselytizing, the attempt at converting Jews to Christianity in Israel. And this has been something that's always kind of been on my mind. We're talking about Israeli culture in this podcast. We're talking about what happens in Israel. And one of the things that happened to me is, I'm just going to give you a minute or two of background. When I was at my first Ulpan at Ben Gurion University, there was a group of Evangelical students who were also there. They were from Germany. And they kept pushing a little bit on, hey, do you know about Jesus, blah, 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 blah. And yes, of course, we historically know who Jesus is. And, well, why, why haven't you, and the conversation started to get a little bit uncomfortable. So we had to ask, can you please, we'll talk about stuff. We'll talk about being Jewish. We'll answer all of your questions, because when Jews are around non-Jews, there tends to be a lot of questions. And hey, we're always happy to answer. I'm always happy to answer. But as far as why we don't believe what you believe, it's just, we'd rather not discuss it. We'd rather, hey, just sit here and be. So it's with that in mind, it's been in the back of my head since then, but never to the point where it's bothered me, never to the point where it's been an issue. So about maybe a week or two ago, there was an article in the Jerusalem Post about the Broadcast Commission in Israel shutting down this channel called Shelanu TV. Shelanu means our or ours. It's a possessive. And it's our TV. Now, Shelanu TV, if you said that name to another Jew who knew Hebrew, knew some Hebrew, even rudimentary, would say, oh, all right, that sounds like a Jewish television station, maybe something in entertainment or whatever. Well, it's not that. It is an evangelical mission, and was closed down because they were trying to use the platform in Israel to convert Jews to Christianity. Now, I have a hiccup because I was drinking coffee, which I'm going to have another sip. Hold on. Peter, that is for you. Let me close this window here. And I was closing a window on my computer. So for those who aren't watching or listening to the podcast. So the reason they got rid of it is because they were trying to spread the gospel to Jews with the intention of converting them to Christianity. Now, that's not illegal in Israel. I did a little bit of research. I looked into it because when I was at Ben Gurion University, they pretty much told us you can't do that here. And I found out that it's not that you can't do that here. You can't do that in some places. So an institution reserves the right to religious autonomy, meaning they can set, if you're in a synagogue, we're here for Jews. If you're in a church, we're here for Christians or people who want to become Christian. If you are in a mosque, it's for Muslims, etc., etc. And so at Ben Gurion University, proselytizing to Jews was not allowed. So I'm assuming that on that basis, they got the allowance, the commission did, to shut down this television station. So I didn't think about it in any other context than what had happened to me at Ben Gurion University. So it wasn't, again, it didn't impact me too greatly. It was, whatever. Okay. I wish they wouldn't do that, but whatever. Then in my YouTube recommended videos, I got, and I want to make sure I get this right. I got a video from this organization called One for Israel, and it is, in this new lockdown, is a wonderful opportunity. I'm paraphrasing. I'm going to put the link in the description so you can see what I'm talking about. But in this current lockdown is an opportunity to bring the gospel to Jews in Israel. And I was like, wow, this is like, and other places it was coming up. So I was like, this is weird. I feel uncomfortable with this. And I went and I looked at the video. I watched the video. And it's by a person who was a former Jew who converted to Christianity. And it's very important to the rabbinate and to the state of Israel, if you convert to Judaism, or if you convert to Christianity, you are no longer considered a Jew. You may self-identify as a Jew. Hey, we're all allowed to self-identify the way we want. But in terms of legal process and religious process, you are no longer a part of the Jewish people. And this is very important and very distinct and has been ruled on by the Supreme Court in Israel. And I have an interesting story. I have a person that I know. She was a friend, and is no longer a friend. And she was, from what I understand at the time, or she was converting to Judaism, and her husband was a former Jew, and was now a Messianic Jew. And they were going to, we were talking about Aliyah, and she wants to make Aliyah, and her conversion is with the ultimate goal of making Aliyah. And then we talked about, making Aliyah, you'll have to do that. And she said, well, my husband can do it. And I said, well, no, he can't, according to the law in Israel. He's no longer a Jew. And she said, well, we just won't tell them that. And I said, so you're going to start your first act in coming to the land of Israel by lying and you're moving to Israel for religious reasons. So I don't know. It's weird, and I'm not going to use the word I want to use until I get to the meat of what I'm talking about. So I watched this video, and I decided to click on their channel page. And I was scrolling through, and it's a bunch of life stories of individual Jews, former Jews, who have converted to Christianity, but who still oddly consider themselves Jewish. And it's one of those things, and I know this is going to be contentious. It's going to turn some people off. And if it does, I'm sorry. But these are, the facts. These are the decisions that have been passed down by the pertinent authorities who decide these things. These people still maintain a Jewish identity, but they're no longer Jewish. And that's confusing to me. So what I did was I watched a video, another video by the same organization, One for Israel. And that's one of the things that bothers me about the name One for Israel is it seems to sound like a supportive for Israel thing. And Israel is the Jewish state. It's based off of Theodore Herzl's writings, The Jewish State. It's a concept that goes back, honestly, centuries. And I don't mean in the religious sense. I mean in the geopolitical sense, as a haven for Jews and as a place of Jewish self-determination, not because of the Holocaust, as a lot of people say. It was done as a result of oppressive conditions in Europe and systematic anti-Semitism and actual systematic. I mean, there were laws on the books saying Jews could not. That was the rule. And that is the defining attribute of a systematic system. I don't know. That was a horrible sentence, but you get the idea. So, on the books, Jews not allowed. Okay? So, One for Israel is basically saying that we are one for Israel, but they're one for their version of Israel. And this is what I found out in the video. So I took a bunch of notes. Actually, you know what? I have the name of the original video right here. I think I have it in my history. Yeah. Here we go. And it is Lockdown in Israel brings a open door for the gospel. So basically we got this is going to sound horrible. We have Jews trapped in their home. Let's get them. Let's bring them the gospel. And that's the impression that I got when I read that, oh, wow, you've got Jews trapped in a box, so let's convert them. Which, with all of the academic study that I've done on Jews in Europe throughout history, that's something that goes all the way back to the Spanish Inquisition. Sorry, that's my impression. And it's actually one of the things that he outlines in his video. 3 reasons Jews reject Jesus or reject Christianity. And I'm going to put a link to that video too. It wasn't easy to watch. It wasn't easy to watch either. Because you have an individual who's for an organization that purports to be morally up. What do you say? Morally proud, morally elevated. Morally elevated, that's it. And one of the first acts that the speaker says is 3 reasons Jews don't believe, and it's Eitan Bar, who is a former Jew who's converted to Christianity. And he talks about his Jewish upbringing and being Jewish. And he really holds on to his Jewish identity, which, again, I say you're either on one side or the other. And I don't mean that in terms of contention. I mean in terms of self-identification. And one of the things that he does, and this video takes place in the United States, and it's before a large group of evangelicals, and he's an Israeli Christian, and he makes a joke about his nose being Jewish. And I'm sorry, I was instantly offended. Absolutely instantly offended, because he's talking about the reasons Jews don't believe, and his constant Jewish jokes, whether he understands or not that they're anti-Semitic, were kind of disturbing. And I'm not going to say disgusting, because I wasn't like, disgusted by it. I was just like, I was really like, wow, I can't believe you. Seinfeld jokes about, how he learned English and this and that. But the interesting thing is, if you break it down from a psychological point of view, he the Seinfeld was to give him Jewish street cred. And I think basically that's what he's trying to do, is to give Jewish street cred. A couple of things from it is he talks about a bunch of the things that they don't believe. And the tone of it was really infantilizing. I hope I'm using that word correctly. He basically, so one of the reasons that he says that Jews don't believe in Jesus is because the rabbis kept the secret from all of the rest of the Jews. And he makes a specific point about saying Orthodox rabbis. And there's enough vilification throughout history of Orthodox Jews that we need some guy who's a Christian going out and pointing a finger and saying they're the bad guys. So essentially, he makes a relationship between the Pharisees in the New Testament and their denial of Jesus, between the Orthodox rabbis in current times and their denial of Jesus. So he purports to be on the side that is against anti-Semitism, but he's using all of the anti-Semitic tropes, and that in itself is really offensive. There was a note. There was something important that I wanted to. I remember what it was. So, wow, I need to have a sip of coffee. Hold on. All right, so one of the statements that he makes is that Jesus can't, and he makes this statement really quickly, really slick, just smooth, and he's done with it, and he's moving on to his talk. But he drops in a couple of lines that basically state that Jesus can't come back until the Jews are converted. So basically what he wants to do, and this was the concept that I got, and this is about this individual. I don't know if this organization feels the same way, but he wants to spiritually breed out the Jews so that Jesus can come back. And I found it really offensive. I found it really bothersome. I found it offensive that he used a bunch of the old Jewish tropes to vilify us. The denial of Christ and all of that stuff. And it was just incredibly, incredibly bothersome. And then and this is where I turned it off. I actually had to turn it off because I was starting to get really upset. One of the things that he says is this denial is forgivable And he makes the statement about our denial as, "Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do." Now, it's my understanding that was a statement in reaction to violence. I could be wrong. I'm not a Christian. I don't know the tenets as well as some. But forgive them, Father, they don't know not what they do. And Jesus said that when he was on the cross. So basically, he just, this guy, I don't get him, said that, essentially, our act of denial is an act of violence, spiritual violence, which to me immediately fell in line with, Christ killer. So I don't know. It bothers me. The whole subject bothers me. It's always been something that's dug in my brain a little bit. And ever since, that incident, what was that, 5 years ago? Where basically this woman that I was speaking with and we had to stop talking just said, we had to, boom, I'm sorry, we can't talk about this anymore. It's always been a little nugget in my brain. And there's more to the incident, and I just don't want to go into it. And the fact that it's now in the YouTube algorithm has decided that I need this information, or they are using the search engine optimization to reach Jews, which, any branding would do. If you were looking for a target market, they've used it to their advantage, and it just bothers me. Now, I could leave on this note, and I don't know why it bothers me. I don't know, and that's part of the reason why I'm discussing it, because I don't want to feel this way about a group of people. I don't want to be suspicious of a group of people and their motives. They're good people in their hearts and they want to do good things. But I don't want them to do it at the expense of my identity. So I called people. I called a friend of mine in Israel, who's Dati-Leumi, who's religious. And I think she's Dati-Leumi. She's religious, observant, like me. And I asked her, I said, and I explained it. I explained a little bit about what I'm talking about. And she said, it doesn't bother me. We have freedom of religion in Israel. And they can do, they can do what they want. They're free to do what they want. And I was blown away by that reaction. I was really impressed by that reaction. And I want to feel that way. I want this angst that this subject brings to be discarded with just a simple thought. And I aspire to be like her. And then Baruch Hashem, I got a phone call from my rabbi right before this. And I told him about the issue I'm having with this subject and what the subject of this podcast was going to be about. And I told him about the reaction of my friend. And he said, honestly, Michael, I'd have to say the same thing. Let them do what they're going to do. And I am blown away by that. I'm blown away that their simple words can soothe me, can calm me, can give me a different angle of reflection in understanding what it is and what I should do and how I should react to things. And so again, this is not meant to tell evangelicals we don't want you. Of course we want you in Israel. Please visit Israel. Please be a part of what Israel is. Just let Israel be what it is. I guess that's my message. And thank you two, for really helping me remove some of the animosity in my heart, some of the just to soothe a little bit of the pain that I felt from some of the things that were said, and to help me be not so sensitive and a little more confident in who I am and what I am. Yeah. All right. So that's it for that subject. I want to hit real quick, finishing up the flashcard set for the Aleph Bet flashcards. They are, I think today, I haven't done it yet. I have to release Ayin, and we are counting down to the end of it, and then I'm going to come out with the Kickstarter video. And come on, guys, help me out. Help me get this to everyone. And anyone who helps me out, they're going to get a free set. So, little bonus. What? So check it out on Instagram. It's on Facebook. And you can also go to our website and check it out. And, this was an emotional one. But it's over. All right. That's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you could, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you get all the brand new episodes. If you want to take this with you, again, you can check it out on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and on Spotify. I don't know what that weird finger thing I was doing was. I was trying to maybe reverse count. I don't know. So, all right. That's it, guys. תודה רבה. להתראות ויאללה ביי.
החיוך כובש בחם, הרכות בשפתותיה. אין כמוה, אין כמוה, אין כמוה בעולם. אין כמוה, אין כמוה, אין כמוה בעולם. היא אחת ויחידה, בכל זאת לבדה. אין אחד שבא אליה לבקש את ידה, ובתסוגר עליה בליבה חתום, נעול, סגור, שבור. לחישה בלילה והיא איננה, גם כשרחוקה היא ממני. זיכרונה עולה שוב בליבי הלילה, איך אותה רציתי כל חיי. ידי בידה ולאור ירח עוד יאיר